Boom, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. We are at Block Show in Singapore today, and we have Hongfei of NIO. Now, Hong, one of the things I like to do is focus on a bit more of the personal and philosophical aspect about how you got into the industry instead of the tech side of things. I'm much more interested in the social story. Can you tell me a little bit about how AntShares and NIO started in your mind?
Personally, I came across Bitcoin in 2011. I spent a year to research on it, and then I bought my first Bitcoin in 2012 at price about $10. I regret I didn't buy more. Then in 2013, with the rise in price of Bitcoin, there are communities popping up in China. So we decided to do a community organization called BitAngels Club. So we organize meetups, we do conferences, and then a year later, we started to spin off a project called AntShares. AntShares is initially designed to facilitate crowdfunding using crypto tokens. Very similar to the idea of ICO.
Right. I actually remember the first time I looked at AntShares. It was because of the interest I had in the potential for smart contract releases, and I was very excited because the Chinese industry is quite big, and I'd always imagined smart contracts needing, our legal system in Canada, the United States is much different than that of China, so I imagined the smart contract system would need to be the same. Can you tell us a little bit about the philosophical reasoning behind changing the brand name from AntShares to NIO? And was AntShares originally a brand you thought would do better in the Chinese industry because I know you guys are, can you tell me a little bit about that change?
AntShares is quite long. Actually, it's quite a long name, and I don't know whether it's easy to memorize. And the problem is, when we started AntShare, the Ant Financial Group doesn't exist yet. But afterwards, after 2 years, they registered a company in China called Mayi, or Ant Financial in China. So there are some collision between branding. So we decided to go with a new name. So we decided, if we want to pick a new name, then we decided to pick the name NIO.
No, it's a great name. It's a great transition. I actually liked AntShares. I thought it was cute, the little cute guy back in the day. I had a lot of fun with that one. It was very reminiscent of the growth of the company too. Can you tell me a little bit about where you feel we are in the markets right now, and what's going to bring mass adoption? Is it a social aspect of the use case of these blockchains, or is it technological development that still needs to be upgraded?
I think we're still a few years away from mass adoption. We still lack of infrastructure stuff. The performance, the governance of blockchains are still immature. So we still need to building a lot of stuff for it to be mass adoption ready.
And in terms of development, where do you see the brightest hotspots come up from tech in this particular sector? Where are the most dApps that are being built coming from, do you think?
I think financial dApps are still the most popular ones. And from the protocol level, I think cross-chain protocol, interoperability protocol is a hotspot. A lot of developers projects are aiming at that scope.
How to get the different chains to talk and communicate, share data. And does that lead into things like atomic swaps as well for NIO?
Atomic swap is just a particular use case of cross-chain interoperability. So what we need is more than atomic swap. It's more than transfer of digital assets. Currently, we're working on a cross-chain protocol that have transactional atomicity and consistency. So that means we can do anything with, you can do any operation with different blockchains, not just transfer assets.
Right. Yeah, that's extremely important. I mean, the internet's growth and all the different protocols from IMAP, POP3, the HTTPS, as things started to grow, getting them to communicate was a lot easier because you didn't really have it was all open source. How do you feel about the open source nature of these projects and competition in these sectors?
I think the open source culture is a new paradigm. The old or the legacy internet paradigm is to keep secrets. Is to set up high barriers for new competitions to maintain their network effect. But if everyone or the major one, the core infrastructure are doing in an open source way, competition, there'll still be competition, but that's competition for better service, better product, not building walls to keep other people outside.
Do you feel that there is more collaboration in this space because of that as well for things like interoperability?
Blockchain industry started with a very strong influence of open source culture. So it develops really quick. After Bitcoin, we saw Litecoin, we saw Namecoin, different coins. They all learn from Bitcoin, and then have the birth. We witnessed the birth of Ethereum and other new breed of blockchains. They all learn from each other.
And in terms of the way you stay ahead of the markets in that type of culture, what's been the greatest culture builder for I guess the people that work with Neo and development and some of the other ecosystems that you guys are building?
I think besides open source, besides interoperability, besides decentralization, our culture is our working culture philosophy is pragmatic idealism. So we share the same ideal future world image with other blockchains, the same one, but we decided to be more practical. We need to work around different obstacles to get there.
So less competition and more collaboration is almost part of the philosophy to them.
A competition is good.
You need to make sure everyone's going a little further.
We need to make sure everything is, we need to ensure most of the core infrastructures are open sourced. So that will some kind of encourage competition, but competition will promote productivity.
Beautiful. Hong, it's been a pleasure to chat with you today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Arcane Bear family, give us those thumbs up, like, subscribe, share, follow these wonderful gentlemen, and keep an eye on Neo because there's great things coming in the future.
Thanks.